Still no online co-op. We're getting there. Well, we got Android, we got Bloop. Nah, let's just play as Yoji. Freaking love Yoji. Yoji's the best. Let's do kick beam cannon, sword, and of course we gotta beat the king. We always gotta beat the king. Let's be the red king. Yeah, here we go. Alright, it's been a while since I played Cavern Kings. Here's the question, do I have the music enabled or do I have to turn it off? Nope, we got the music enabled. Okay, well. Oh, crap. I've been playing roguelike. Oh, whoa. Holy shit. Alright, so I've been playing Roguelands, which, I mean, decent game. Definitely very early access, needs a lot of work. You know, this one's much further along. However, in playing the two games, I'm realizing two things. One, I think Roguelands needs what Catacomb Kids has got, and I think Catacomb Kids needs what Roguelands has got. To properly explain, Catacomb Kids needs a side dodge. It doesn't even need to do damage, it just needs to be able to, like, push you sideways. As, like, a flip around is like, oh shit, there's an enemy over here and I don't want to deal with it. Button. And Roguelands needs the ability to dual-wield melee and ranged weapons. Because I think that would actually be kind of a nice little effect. Because I don't even use my right click that much in the game. What happened? Where are all my characters? They went bye-bye when my computer, got reformatted. Give it a bit. Give me a second. I gotta make sure that my footage doesn't look like pure laggy ass. Okay, good. My preview window makes everything look like it's going at 5 frames a second. It's just like, this is unacceptable. But no, that's just the way the previews are handled. Yeah, so I reformatted my computer to solve my crippling audio issues that I was suffering from. Like, all of my footage was just garbage. Imagine if you I guess some of you probably experienced this, but a number of my, like, videos, especially my Disgaea series, suffered from this, and still suffer from this. Disgaea is the only one that I haven't been able to fix yet. Do I use cloud saves? In some cases, yes. In some cases, it doesn't matter. For example, Dark Souls, totally supposed to use cloud saves. Absolutely does not. Or it has some kind of weird centralized server business. I don't know. It's weird. But, a lot of my save files were fine. You know, Divinity, Original Sin. Binding of Isaac actually brought me back to my old save files from pre-Platinum God. I was kind of a bit crabble about that one, because I was like, come on. Really? But that's the way, them's the breaks, I guess. Ow. I'd like to be able to get my hands up here, but I don't think we're going to be able to get that box. I guess if I just wait patiently, we'll have enough money to buy the missile. Because yeah, if I can have one of both, that'll be good. Oh, we got a box over here I can blow up. That'll work. So, yeah, I lost a lot of saves, but ultimately it's kind of one of those where it's like, I really don't mind, starting over in Catacomb Kids, Cavern Kings, Catacomb Kings, and Catacomb Kings and, Cavern Kids. There we go. Gotta get the whole gamut there. But, I don't know, whatever, it's not the end of the world. It would be much more of an issue with a game like, oh, what's a good example of, like, a linear game that losing the save file would ruin me for? I was very worried that I was going to lose my save file for, Knights of Pen and Paper 2, because I was right before the finale and I didn't want to play through the entire goddamn game a second time. What the hell is that? What is that thing? Was that, like, just a perfectly... Yeah, that was just, like, a weirdly, perfectly aligned kick beam cannon to just go horizontal. I've never seen that before. I have never seen that before, I don't know. But, I don't know. Ultimately, it wasn't, like, that big of a deal. I also didn't lose any footage, which was the other main worry. But I'm pretty good at never losing footage, if I can avoid it. I lost a couple of things, a lot of crucial things here and there. But that's mostly in the past. I get better. But yeah. What the fuck? What was that? I mean, like, some of that was intentional, but most of that was just like, well. That. Can you say everything goes boom? Because, boy, everything went boom there. Maybe a little bit too much boom, honestly. Alright, let's see if we can... Yeah, Kick Beam Cannon does nice strike through. Which I like, but wow! That was surprising. And we unlocked the TNT launcher, which, I mean, to be fair, less useful than I'd like, but whatever. Not the end of the world. Okay. Let's take this guy out. That was quite the blast. I was very surprised, and I was very glad that, I mean, I guess the treasure chest would have lasted anyway, but it was one of those where it's like, well, there's something left. There's a little bit of land. It would have been hilarious if just nothing made it. I don't know. Whatever. The end of the world. Okay, let's just scoot very slowly this direction, very slowly this direction, then we're all good. Okay. Oh. I like this game. I hope they patch it more. They said they were going to patch it more often, but I don't remember when the last patch for this one was, which probably means it was like 2-3 weeks ago. But, I don't know. I feel like a game like this, no matter how trivial, should always, like, patch at least once a month, if not every 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is kind of perfect. Roguelands updates once a week, which is impressive, but there's, like, a lot of stuff that can and is done over the course of that, you know, week or two. To the point where, like, the game is nowhere even close to complete, so there's a lot of progress that can be made very easily. Games like this, I mean, you could add a lot of stuff really fast, but there's some question on, like, yeah, that is a Kick Beam Cannon shot that just doesn't know what to do with itself. It's kind of hilarious. Okay, we wanna explode our way over here. So I want to, at the very least, get one of these. Probably not going to be able to get more, but one black hole box is absolutely acceptable as far as loot and stuff goes. I think that there's something that makes the TNT launcher more useful. Maybe? I don't know. If there is, I have yet to hear of it. It's not really the end of the world. It's kind of an interesting, bizarrely fun weapon, but it's not exactly what I would call the greatest. I don't know, I don't like it that much. Alright, let's see. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting back up there for another one. Oh well. Alright, so let's talk development. Let's talk something. What do I talk about? I don't know. I don't know what I talk about. I used to rant a ton in this game, and it's just like, what do I talk about? Oh, you know what? Here's something. That sort of I guess it's not Thanksgiving anymore. And for those of you, you know, not in America, well, I guess Thanksgiving is, I guess, our day to shove a bunch of food in our face and feel really good about ourselves and this country. This also goes along with 4th of July. They more or less are the same holiday, just one is a lot more like party food, and the other is a lot more like greasy American, like hot dogs and hamburgers. It's usually because one holiday is a hell of a lot colder than the other one. But I assume if you're down in Texas, the meal is almost indistinguishable. I'm kind of full of shit here, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know how people handle Thanksgiving celebrations and stuff like that. I'm sure every country has more or less the same thing. I know there's, like, Canadian Thanksgiving. I don't know if there's actually... I can't think of any, like, comparable European ones. I mean, Oktoberfest, kind of, but I guess Oktoberfest is more of a harvest festival, which we've got... No, actually, we don't have those, too. So yeah, I'd actually say that Thanksgiving is kind of like a weird and backwards alternate version of... Damn, he is fast. Okay, Canadian Thanksgiving was in October. Good to know. I mean, yeah, I'd actually posit that Thanksgiving is pretty much just a harvest festival. A little bit late in the season, but still, it's about the same. Of course, there's, you know, less beer related, but, you know, whatever, who cares? I don't know. It's supposed to be like a major familial holiday. I don't think I've ever been around my extended family for Thanksgiving. So, like, I always hear of, like, friends and family doing these, like, massive get-togethers with, like, 40, 50 people, you know, multiple turkeys, you know, people in the kitchen for hours on end, slaving over the entire meal. My family is just like, I don't know, we have, like, a cheesecake in the oven, and a turkey in the oven as well. And I mean, let's hope the turkey turns out pretty okay. And I guess we've also got potatoes, because potatoes are necessary. Should we make biscuits? Nah, let's not make biscuits. And it's just like the laziest affair. To the point where, like, I have conversations with Shell about, like, Thanksgiving, and she's talking about, like, all of this, like, interfamilial drama, because apparently, like, some of her aunts and uncles now hate each other, and it's just like, alright, well, that's... I literally never will have to deal with this, which is nice. My parents aren't only children. In fact, my parents are both from massive families, which I think is where this comes from. I think both my mom and dad have just kind of, like, grown tired of the idea of, like, large family anything. My mother was the youngest, and my dad was, I think, the second youngest and stuff like that. Nikolaus on the 6th, but not a lot of people celebrate it. Oh, okay. I don't know much about German holidays, admittedly. God, I was in Croatia for several months, and I don't think I remember a single holiday that they celebrated. So I'm just going to operate under the assumption that Croatians never celebrate holidays. They just celebrate tourist season, because that's when all the money starts rolling in. There's something special about a country that operates on a tourist based on, like, pure tourism, and just how much, like, the culture changes between you know, tourist season and not. Specifically, when I was in Dubrovnik, there was practically a holiday where, like, a lot of the locals went down to the beach and cleaned up all of the shit that had washed on shore. Because apparently the Adriatic Sea has a bit of a western to eastward flow. So if you throw trash into the Adriatic Sea in Rome, it will end up in Croatia, or, you know, along that coast and stuff like that. So specifically, you know, we would find a lot of Italian, like, snack bags and cans along the beach as we were going along, you know, just walking up and down. Oh, good God! Well, this was... Yep. Who decided it was Captain Kaboom's, day? This is not 4th of July. What is this? Wow! The sheer amount of explosions that I have experienced over the course of this run alone is nuts. But so, man, I'm going all over the place with this story. But so, a lot of the locals would, like, go out and, you know, effectively just grab all of this Italian trash and clean up the beaches, because, obviously, if Dubrovnik doesn't have tourists anymore, Dubrovnik's not gonna have, any income. Like, there's no industry there. It's just all tourism. But you can fit a surprisingly large number of cruise ships in that city. It's kind of impressive. But so, let's see. What was I going to talk about with holidays and stuff? Oh yeah, my family. So, you know, they're both from, you know, 7+ people families. So, I think at this point they've just kind of gotten to the point where, they've just gotten kind of to the point where, they're just done with, like, large family get-togethers. Some of my aunts and uncles are definitely getting, like, on in years, to the point where, like, their opinions have shifted a lot more to the crotchety and old. I don't know what it is about, like, aging, but there's some kind of, like, weird, eventual decision, that a lot of my relatives seem to have made, that, like, the concept of, like, social programs, are meaningless and should be completely, like, eliminated from US culture. So, like, I have one aunt that's very, very outspoken about, like, universal healthcare, where, like, God, I swear I've actually ranted about this one before, but, you know, she probably wouldn't be... She was in the hospital with, like, massive amounts of bills, but, you know, managed to get, like, a lot of her debts repaid or, you know, taken care of by like, more or less charity, and stuff like that. And, you know, she's very outspoken about, like, you have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And my mother, who, you know, gave her quite the sum of money as part of this, like, medical bill situation, she got kicked in the head by one of her horses. One of her super expensive, and she can't actually really take care of them horses. Kicked her in the head one day, and boy, you do not want to get kicked in the head by any kind of, creature. Horses especially. I mean, they got hooves. They're heavy. This is not a small horse either. But so this lady, this aunt is always ranting about it. It's just like, come on, you just, you annoy me so much. I didn't even know she existed until I was, I didn't even know she existed until I was, I want to say, oh right, I got 3 jumps here. Until I was in, no. My items. Okay. Okay. Come on. I'm not gonna make it. Fuck. Stupid explodey blocking things. Okay. I have lost this. Yeah, getting kicked in the head by a horse can kill someone. Oh yeah, almost killed her. Okay, so we're talking about aunt, horse. Oh, right, yeah, I didn't even know she existed until I was like 10 or 12. Because apparently she had ended up, like, embezzling, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars from her previous employer, who is equally a crook. I want to say he took a lot of, like, kickbacks to, for, like, toxic waste dumping and stuff like that. Which is, like, super not good, but so her moral stand that she took against him was to just take a bunch of money for herself. And it's like this, So she actually had to flee the state of Minnesota and hide out in Nevada, where, you know, people probably wouldn't find or recognize her, because she was apparently, not welcome in the state of Minnesota for quite a couple of years. I don't know how that got resolved, but effectively that was some shady nonsense to begin with. And super illegal. But like one of my other uncles is very big into guns, and I'm always just like, all right, you know, guns are okay, I guess, if people like just want to have guns. But he's like, he has guns on every like square inch of wall, and I'm just like, really now? And he's always like ranting about how, you know, people are trying to take away his guns. So I don't think so. And what the fuck? I've never seen him do that before. He's always ranting about how people are going to take his guns, and it's like, I don't think anybody's going to touch your guns. Like, you're just a hunter dude out in the middle of Minnesota. Like, nobody really cares about you. And he's like, but the government's going to take my guns. I was like, no, not really. Or, he actually got, like, not violently angry at my brother, but so my brother's a chemist. And so he was, what was the really famous, what was the really famous, sounds like the start of a good book. Yeah, if she wasn't, like, wildly irresponsible and largely uninteresting, it would have been a good book. But, so my brother being a chemist likes to, wrote a lot of, like, his, like, history papers in high school and college on, like, famous chemicals and, like, chemical-related things. So, for example, he did a large report on... Damn. I can't remember what the pesticide was. It was the really infamous pesticide back in the 70s that everybody attributed for eagles' shells weakening, and as well as like a lot of environmental collapse and stuff like that. And I cannot remember what it was called. But so my brother apparently did like a lot of research, including like, you know, interviewing somebody that, you know, made this stuff still, and, you know, more or less came to the conclusion that this stuff is not actually like, this stuff was not actually the cause, necessarily. It was actually just, you know, standard waste dumping and whatever. But, that ended up being, like, the main issue with the eagles. But that this pesticide wasn't really the cause of the problem. It definitely contributed, but not to the point where, like, it was the reason why, you know, the eagle eggshells were dropping, in, like, thickness and, you know, becoming fragile and stuff. But so my uncle, who was not a game warden, but like he did a lot of like trapping in game and was very passionate about, you know, nature so he could shoot it. But as a result, he was very passionate about, you know, this pesticide not ever being let back onto the market because according to him, you know, it was evil. According to the news back in the day, it was evil. And so my uncle got to the point where he was yelling at my brother to leave. Or not yelling, but like, it was very obvious that my brother was not welcome in my uncle's presence because of my brother having well-reasoned arguments against my uncle who knew better. And it was just like, ooh, opinion just dropped. Opinion dropped so hard. And I felt really bad because it's like, you know, a nice uncle, but it's just like, how do you respect somebody that very, very obviously, like, A, doesn't respect science as a, like, can actually be wrong, and then, you know, also that science generally is more correct than like, national television. Because, oh boy, the amount of, Fox News quotes that we're getting, like, slung around, as, like, proof one way or another. Now, mind you, these are... I don't even know if it was Fox News quotes, but it was just like, you know, the kind of like, the standard headline, you know, grab your attention type, like, information and headlines and whatever, that you would see on a newspaper for effectively trying to, like, fearmonger. And that was his argument. That, you know, here are all these, like, terrible things that this thing does, and this is why we should never even, like, consider using it again, despite, you know, evidence to the contrary. And that, you know, why would science waste its time on this, you know, evil chemical? And it's just like, ooh, come on, you have a brain. You're not a dumb person. You're not a redneck. I know you. You actually, like, went to college and stuff. It was sad. But, ow. These guys hurt real freaking bad. You know what? Let's try and escape over here for some health. And they're going to fall directly on top of my head. And this is going to kill me. What about 2 eyes and only picked up 1? Really? Oh, it was DDT. Yeah, I think it was actually DDT. You're correct, Geyer. But yeah, I believe, and I mean, admittedly, I could be totally wrong about, like, exactly the point I'm trying to make here. It could not have been DDT. This was back when I was in high school, which is like 8 years ago now. So I very only barely remember the situation, but it's just like, yep, not talking about that uncle again about issues that are interesting to me that he might disagree with me on. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Okay. Well, that was a great run of Cavern Kings. Sure, a little bit shorter than most, but we're not there yet. We don't have the right equipment. And those freaking stone slab monsters just really wreck your shit if they ever touch you. Oh well, that surprises me in no way, shape, or form. So, I'll see you guys on the next episode of Cavern Kings, probably within the next couple of days. I don't know, I'm cycling this with Vagante and Catacomb Kids currently. I'll have a better schedule once things calm down a little bit, and they never will. So it'll probably just be a whenever I feel like it type thing. But I'll try and keep it regular. Anyway, so see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go to bed now.